I had to fly to the bathroom like I was Superman. I'd be there for like a good hour. My grandma would be like, "You okay in there?" I'm like, "I'm trying." Welcome to the Arbitrary People podcast. I'm your host, Makai Davis. My best friend, she's the producer. Her name is Jasmine. She isn't here right now. She is. On this podcast, we talk about very arbitrary things, like when you're over at your grandma's house cooking chicken and all the hot grease jumps on you and it hurts, or how you lose your chapstick from time to time and then magically once every other 2 weeks it reappears, or how your mother tells you that you're moving but you don't know when, and you haven't even seen your new room yet. You've seen the new house, you just haven't seen the new room. On today's episode, I personally wanted to talk about 4th of July because I feel like 4th of July is it's certainly a fun holiday. It can be fun. It could be fun a lot because there are times where every year for me personally, I would always go over to my grandmother's house, and most of the time family would be there. At least 90% of the time, most of my family would be there. Aunts, my great aunts, my regular aunt, uh, my mother would be there, cousins, all that. And we would, bunch up together, have fun, eat. Most of the time they would just be playing cards. They play cards for like hours on end. You hear them yelling and laughing, especially if you're in your room with the door closed, and if it's made out of wood. So yeah, you just sit there, you eating your chicken, you're having fun. Your stepdad is talking to your older cousin about work stuff. You know, the best part or the most fun part about it is when you have some fireworks. Granted, I didn't have any fireworks this year because fireworks cost like a lot of money, and I didn't pay for them. I ain't got that type of bank, yo. I don't have the finance for that big man. But most of the time, my grandfather, rest in peace. Still think about you. My grandfather, he would pay like every year. I remember he would like call me. Well, he wouldn't call me, but well, he would. But he most of the time he would call. Well, it would be my grandmother calling my mother's phone. Then he'll come talk to me, and then and he'd be like, "Hey, little man, you want to pop some fireworks this year?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'd say yes every time because it would be fun." There'd be times where he'd buy like a big old pack of fireworks, and it'd be like real. It would be like $300 to $600 of fireworks. At least that's my estimate. I don't know. I can't ask him. But nor did I even think about it. I just thought, oh, we get to play with fireworks, and not blow off my hand. So yeah, so every year we would like play, with fireworks and stuff, light them in the middle of the street, see them, fly up and blow up. And sometimes my favorite firework or piece of firework like thing, my favorite part would be to those fireworks where it's like a little bag of like those little balls things, and then like you would like throw them on the ground. I love those. Those were like my favorite thing in the whole world. Because sometimes I would get like one just throw on the ground and it will pop, and then other times I'll just grab like a handful, like it was a bag of popcorn, but I wouldn't eat it because if I did, but I'd grab like a handful of them and I'll just like grab it, and then just throw them all on the ground and they just pop all simultaneously. It'd be fun, but sometimes you'd be too close to like the pop and it would like kind of hurt. I remember one time I accidentally threw one at my mom last year. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I remember I threw one, bah, and like it hit my mom a little. But like she was okay. She was okay. She was like, "Why'd you do that for?" I was like, "Mom, it was an accident. I didn't mean to hit you." Okay. Plus, she was leaving. She was also somewhere in my way because I even granted I was near her car, but still, she was in the way a little bit. I'm sorry, Mom. So yeah, and then other times, we'd have those, and then I remember we'd have the. Oh, I remember last year. I remember we had one of the big ones. We had like one of the really big ones, and I remember I lit it, and as I lit it, it like fell over, and it like fell over, and it almost shot at me. It almost shot at my foot, but it missed me. I think it went under my grandpa's truck. It like went under his truck a little bit. That was crazy. I was scared too. I was like really scared. That was fun. And then, you have the little light up things where like you could like write. I forgot what I don't know what they're called. They look like incense to me. They look like they're to me they're like very extreme incense. The sparklers, yeah. They're like yeah. And I remember I would like write my name in the with the light on them. It'd be really fun. Sometimes I'll just be writing, and sometimes I wouldn't even write nothing at all. I'll just swing it, and then it'll like burn all the way to like my fingertips. Those were fun, you know. I always loved eating on 4th of July too, because my grandma she'd make like a lot of food, greens, ribs, uh, the usual stuff. Most of the time we wouldn't barbecue though, because I mean, granted, she did have a barbecue in her backyard, but like we would barely be in the backyard anyway. Like we would most of the time we was just in the house. The backyard was it's too much grass back there. It's too much grass. Also, I still need to cut her grass. Like I cut her front. My mom cut her front yard the other day, so I still need to go do her backyard. But I don't like doing her backyard. It's too much stuff there. It's too much grass, and there's a tree stump over there. It's just too much grass. But anyway, she had like this really big grill, but most of the time we wouldn't really use it because like she didn't feel like grilling anything because it was either too hot or you had to move it. So she didn't feel like doing all that. She didn't do that last year or this year. So yeah, but she will make like a lot of food and be like really good. Even though there'd be times where like she will make me either my aunt will make cupcakes or she would make cupcakes. And like I love the fact that they would make cupcakes, but sometimes it would not end so well because I'm lactose intolerant, and one thing about me is if I eat chicken and cupcakes in the same hour, or not even just chicken, fish, it will mainly be fish, chicken or fish and cupcakes in the same hour, I'd be cooked. I'm getting flashbacks about it now. It would just be like the worst thing to ever happen to me. Like it would just I had to fly to the bathroom like I was Superman. Just yeah, I'd be there for like a good hour. My grandma would be like, "You okay in there?" I'm like, "I'm trying. I'm trying my best here. I might be here to the July 6th. Who knows?" So yeah, yeah. Even though that hasn't happened in a while, because now I know the science behind it. At first, the first time it ever happened, I was like 10. I was like 10, 11, 12 when it first happened. So, I know how to space certain foods out, you know, space certain things out, let them digest, and then go on to the next thing. Sometimes you just gotta space things out. And then the fireworks will be really nice, even though they'd be really loud. Also, another thing I don't like about 4th of July is I do like the fireworks. It's just I never liked the fact that people will pop the fireworks prior to 4th of July because I remember last week it was like last week people were already popping fireworks. I'm like, dog, it's not even the 4th yet. What are you doing? And then occasionally some people will still pop them after 4th of July, which it's not even the 4th anymore. can stop now. You can stop now. Like you ain't gotta do all that popping. And I feel bad for some of the people who live in like the really rich neighborhoods, because most of the time they be pulling that saying like, I can't tell if it's gunshots or fireworks. Most of the time it's fireworks. Most of the time. Well, depending on where you live, it might be gunshots. Don't be too curious to find out. Just stay in your lane. So yeah, and yeah, I I feel like 4th of July is gonna hit a little bit different now since my grandfather's passing, but family still comes over. Even though none of the family came over this year, they were doing their own thing. It was just me and my grandma. It was just me and my grandma. My mom had to work. Uh, my aunt also had to work. So yeah, I think my aunt was gonna come over, but she had to work. So yeah, but yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today because I was just feeling nostalgic and a little bit patriotic, even though I most of the time I'm not patriotic. Mainly, I'm proud of the fact that I live in America. I just have certain problems with it, but who doesn't? Besides a few people. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about today on the podcast. I hope you had a good time with me. And if you didn't, I'm sorry. I apologize. Please check out last week's episode if you haven't. And I'll see you guys later. I love y'all. Please check out the podcast. We're in depth. Please. I love y'all.